Hey, what is up, everybody? I am here to give you my live review of, well, it's not really live, but it's because I went live in person, that's why I'm calling it live. But of Top Row Promotions for March 10th, 2017. And it's been quite a while since I've sat here and done a video about Top Row Promotions. And the reason why is because I don't go as often as I used to. I remember there was like a point in time when I was going like every single month. It's kind of not the case anymore. That the main reason is just because I'm so busy with schoolwork, and then sometimes what happens is I don't have like the transportation to get there, so I'm just like, yeah, it's too far away. Because sometimes they'll be like in Fall River, and I live all the way in Pembroke, so it's like it's that's a hassle. And also, the main reason is because sometimes I'll like think about going, and then sometimes it just doesn't end up happening. Either I don't come up with the money to do so, or sometimes I just can't. I just don't think of it sometimes, and it does kind of suck because I actually do like Top Rope. I actually think it's a decent wrestling company. It's actually like when I go to it, I usually have fun going. So I don't know why I stopped going really. And then I saw this event, and since I'm on spring break now, I figured it's in Brockton. I go to school at Massasoit in Brockton. I figured why not go to Top Rope Promotions. You know since it's close to me, so I did just that. I went with my dad, my stepmom, my sister, my step cousin, and one of my friends, and I went, and I had an pretty good time. I actually ended up buying my ticket ahead of time, which now that I got a debit card, I may start doing that a lot more because I don't use the debit card itself, and I'm like, why not? I figure, it's a nice, easy way to use it. So I think I'm probably gonna start going to Top Rope a lot more. There's one coming up on March 23rd, so that's that's actually it might not be March 23rd actually. Not exactly sure, but there's a few coming up like March 23rd. There's one coming up like in March 30th. And I want to start going to Top Rope again. I've always enjoyed going, so I'm hoping as the new year starts, I can start going to more Top Rope Promotions events. But that's not what I'm here for. Let me actually give you my review of the show. But usually what I like to do is, since it's a show, I like to kind of give you like the rundown of what we did live when we went there. So first we went out to eat at the 99, and I went out to eat at the 99, and then I went to the actual show. It was in the Brockton VFW, and I arrived at the show, got to my seats, and I kind of just sat down and chilled for a while. Actually, a couple of my friends were kind of like ring crew stuff at the event. My friend Julian Warren, who was on the first ever episode, like literally the first ever episode of the Massasoit Wrestling Corner. He ended up working as a camera guy. My other friend, who you don't know, is worked I think he worked selling T-shirts and kind of helped set up the ring and stuff like that. It was actually kind of cool. So I actually thought it was kind of cool because they've always wanted to get into the wrestling business. I think they said they wanted to be wrestlers, so I don't know if they still intend on doing that or not. But what I actually think that's a pretty good gig for them to have. And I even saw these wrestling fans who call themselves the Drunken Wrestling Posse, because back in the old days in the WWF they had a stable called the Main Street Posse, so that's kind of where the Drunken Wrestling Posse came. So I actually thought that was pretty interesting. So yeah, I enjoyed. So I kind of sat in my seats, chilled. I went out with some of my friends who goes to Bridgewater State University. So I had a a pretty good time going to this show. And I just kind of sat down, relaxed before the show started, and then the show itself started, and the ring announcer came out, and funny thing is actually a lot of the show actually had some technical problems in the beginning, so he ended up coming out, and his mic actually cut off. So what happened is he actually just had to make the announcement just as himself. Just without the mic, he had to like scream really loud. So I thought he improvised pretty well. Yeah, he announced what the event was and everything and what's going on. So then we had the first actual match. Let me actually just pull it up on my on the Facebook page. If you could just give me, I actually pulled it up originally, but it didn't end up working. Let's see if I can find the code. Oh, actually, yeah, it's coming March 24th. So the next one's actually March 24th, so I screwed up on that. Alright, so here's the match code. It's not in order, so I'm just gonna kind of. So the first match was a. Let me just find it. It wasn't that match. Was it that match? Oh yeah, it was that match. The first match was a Top Rope Promotions Interstate Championship #1 contenders match. Skylar Wagner Brown versus Jason Blade. And I thought this was actually a good, solid opening match. It was a match with consequences, and a match that actually where the wins mattered. And I thought it was a good, solid opening matchup. They both and like I said, I was in front of the drunken. I was like right behind them, so they were screaming a bunch of hellacious stuff at him, which I thought was pretty funny. And they were filled with great one-liners, which I thought was hilarious. So but the match starts and they both start chain wrestling each other. Eventually, Jason Blade gets the upper hand and he beats the crap out of him on the outside. Then I have to look up his name. Brown got the advantage, and he ended up hitting a sick body slam. And then they were trying to get the sound to work, so the sound went off. And I think that legitimately scared the shit out of him because he got really scared about it. I actually thought that was pretty funny. Brown hit an enziguri. He hit a crossbody from the top rope. Jason Blade had gone for a dive. Brown ended up hitting an enziguri on him. Then he went for a moonsault. Jason Blade moved out of the way, and then Blade hit the gut check for the win. And so now he's the #1 contender to the Top Rope Promotions Interstate Championship. So I thought that was a good, solid match. It was a good opener, and it was a good way to start off the night. And afterwards, Jason Blade offers Wagner to shake his hand. At first he doesn't do it, but eventually he gets in the ring and shakes his hand. So I think Wagner Brown was supposed to be the heel, but I don't really think anybody, in my opinion, from what I saw, really was the heels in this match. Just because of the fact that they both. It just seemed like it was just a good match, just based off competition, in my opinion. So that's what I kind of enjoyed about this match. But overall, I thought this was a good match. Then we had the next match. It was I'm just trying to find it. The next match was a Top Rope Promotion Tag Team Championship #1 contenders match. Nick Westgate and Jason Daniels versus the Cool People. Now, I don't really know anybody that was in this group, so I can't really tell you. But one was wearing LeBron sneakers. So I'll just kind of address that one as just that. Like I said, I like this match. It was another match where the wins mattered. This match had consequences behind it, so I did like that. And I actually do like the team up of Jason Daniels and Nick Westgate. I think that's actually a good, solid team. The Cool People seem like a decent gimmick. It's the first time I've seen them, so I have to kind of go to a few shows before I can kind of um, really um, judge it for myself. Um, but the match starts um, with Daniels and Westgate getting the advantage. I actually thought they had some good solid double team moves on both members of the Cool People. They just tagged in and out and just pretty much dominated them. And then eventually the Cool People get the heat on Jason Daniels for a while. They beat the crap out of him. They hit a double suplex on him. And they just really get the heat on him, prevented him from making the tag. Then eventually he tags in Nick Westgate, and he gets the hot tag, and he starts going off on the Cool People, and he just really lays into them. And eventually the match ends when Jason Daniels tags himself in and hits a crossbody on one of them for the win. And so Westgate and Daniels are now the number one contenders to the Top Rope Promotions Tag Team Championships, which I'm absolutely fine with. I actually think they're a pretty good tag team. So I enjoyed that match. Then we have the next match, and this match sucked. I'm just going to say that. The next match was a women's belt. It was Toxis versus Skylar. Yeah. Toxis looks very interesting. So, I'm going to put a picture of it up on my Facebook page. And you're going to see what I'm talking about with Toxics. Yeah. So Toxics, let me see. So I'm going to try to think of how I can think of a comparison. So the easy way is if you've ever seen the wrestler Congo, she pretty much looks like a woman's version of Congo, with Stin face paint. That's exactly what she looks like. Yeah, it was very interesting, and pretty hard to look at. And this match was hard to watch because the Drunken Wrestling Posse, they normally are rowdy throughout the whole night, and they always constantly make jokes, ribbon on the wrestlers. This one they just couldn't. Like, he was like one of them in front of me. He was literally shell shocked about what she looked like. It was actually pretty insane. And it's just, it was pretty interesting. This match just was not very good, and it all has to do with Toxics. Skylar wasn't that bad. It's kind of one of these cases where normally in wrestling it takes two to tango, and Toxics definitely wasn't tangoing. They weren't even following the same dance move, if you know what I mean. This match just absolutely sucked. Skylar, I think, tried to carry a good match out of it. You got to remember too, these wrestlers are kind of new. I think Skylar's a new wrestler, and they don't often do women matches and Top Rope Promotions. I believe there was actually a time when they stopped. And I believe I used to watch women matches, and I even would say, like, back then they were just squashes. They didn't last very long. Like I said, they should get rid of the women's division, and they did. And now it seems like they're trying to bring back the women's division, and it seems like that they're not having matches like this is not going to be what gets the job done. Bringing back women's division for Top Rope Promotions, it just doesn't click. It's just, yeah, it's just, I wish that they didn't have this women's division, because it can be a piece of crap sometimes. So how can I explain? But yeah, so the match pretty much was very slow moving. Toxis just can't really move around very well. But eventually the finish came when Toxis hit a codebreaker and just rolled. No, when Skylar hit a codebreaker and just rolled her up for the win. It was very bad. It was probably the worst match on the show. It was really bad. And then we had the next match. It was Devil's Reject Brandon Webb versus with Frankie Vane ringside versus Congo. And before the match starts, as Devil's Reject's making his entrance, Congo attacks him from behind, beats the crap out of him, and they just start. And he pretty much beats the crap out of the Devil's Reject, Brandon Webb, before the match starts. But Frankie Vane's just watching on. And what didn't make any sense about it, since the match hadn't started and it was pretty much anything goes, why didn't Frankie Vane take the opportunity to just both of them just beat the crap out of Congo? I personally didn't think that made a whole lot of sense, but whatever. Just a thought. But Congo beats the crap out of him, attacks him, throws him into the steel post. And what was funny is that the Drunken Wrestling Posse, they didn't like any of these wrestlers, so they're like, yeah, I'm just leaving. I'm gonna go do other things better than this. And they were chanting things like, this is what happens when Monday Night Raw turns the wind purple. I usually go find other things to watch or go take my shit break. I actually thought it was pretty funny. So then they both get in the ring. Brandon Webb lays him out with a famouser, and pretty much dominates Congo the rest of the matchup. And eventually Congo tries to make a comeback, but Frankie Vane takes a cheap shot from behind, and Brandon Webb hits a super kick on him, and continues the match continues, and then Congo starts to make a comeback. Eventually, Frankie Vane just keeps getting involved, keeps getting on the apron, and behind the referee's back, Brandon Webb splits mist into his face, rolls him up, and gets the win. And that was it. I actually thought this was a solid match. Nothing too, nothing spectacular, but a nice solid match. And then afterwards, Frankie Vane, it segues into a segment with Frankie Vane saying that he was willing to call out anybody for an open challenge to attempt to take this Top World Promotions Interstate Championship from me, and I'm not leaving until somebody attempts to. It could be anybody. It could be somebody big. It could be somebody small. It could be somebody skinny, somebody fat. And who accepts, I don't know exact name, but Fenway. And he comes out and says that, I'm going to come out and accept this open challenge because because I beat you and I pinned your partner here, and I wanted to do the same thing to you and take that Top World Interstate Championship home with me. And I'm also going to I'm gonna take I'm not gonna do it on the Devil's Dorman way. I'm gonna do it the Fen way, which I actually thought was a good line. So the match starts. Frankie Vane attacks Fenway from behind. I just forgot his name for a second, sorry. And he hits a body slam on him wicked hard, and he works over his back the entire match. And during the match, the Drunken Wrestling Party were chanting things at him like, you suck as a champion. I hope he takes the title from you. And my friend actually had, because the Devil's Reject, Brandon Webb, was holding the Top World Promotions Interstate Championship on the outside. And he says, can I touch the belt? And Brandon Webb was just like, no. And there was these kids, by the way, too, who, one of them, I believe it was one of theirs birthday, and they were just yelling things all night. What the hell? Anyhow, I'll just continue talking about what I was going to talk about. Because apparently, my friend was supposed to be in this video, but he just steps out the last fucking second. Anyhow, so, I was just talking about the Top World Promotions Interstate Championship match, and I was talking about Frankie Vane dominating the matchup, and my friend asking if he could touch the belt, and Brandon Webb had said no, but then there was these kids that were just yelling things all night, and Brandon Webb kept telling them to sit down. He was actually being a really good heel. And eventually Fenway starts to make his comeback. He hits a dive over the ropes, and then then eventually he tries to dive on him coming into the ring, and Frankie Vane catches him with a spine buster, pins him, and retains the Top World Promotions Interstate Championship. Then eventually he just gets on the mic and says that that was just way too well. He says that I'm not gonna sweat. I didn't even sweat that, and I'm still feeling well enough to wrestle. So he offers another open challenge, and who accepts but none other than King Caveman, I don't remember his exact name, but it was this big, huge guy, and he comes out, and Frankie Vane's all afraid to face him, but eventually he ends up doing so, and he gets dominated throughout the beginning of the matchup, and the big guy hits all power moves on him. He hits a wicked body slam on him, but eventually Frankie Vane works over the injured leg of him and just starts dominating him, and but eventually the big guy, King Caveman, starts making his comeback and beats the crap out of him. Then he goes to finish him off, but Brandon Webb gets on the apron. Really? Anyhow, and eventually Congo comes out and attacks him from behind, and he ends up attacking Frankie Vane, which leads him to win the match by disqualification, which I kind of thought was a stupid finish. And then afterwards, King Caveman's all pissed off about it, so they get into an exchange, and he lays him out with a sit-down choke bomb, and he ends up leaving the ring. And then Brandon Webb gets on the mic, and he says that, you know what, you want another shot at me, then we're going to take it. On March 24th, I actually got the date wrong. It's actually March 24th. Like I said, they're coming back to Fall River. We're going to have a hair versus hair match. And if I win, you have to shave your head, and you have to become a member of the Devil's Dormant. And if you win, I'm going to shave my beard, and you can get a shot at Frankie Vane's Top Rope Promotions Interstate Championship. So that's actually a pretty interesting matchup. I may try to go to that show, but like I said, since it's in Fall River, it may be tougher to get there, so I'm going to wait and see if I can find someone to go with and get there. So afterwards, they took intermission. That's my friend who actually went into the wrestling show. And I ended up taking a picture with Scarlett that was in the ring. That was actually pretty cool. And then I talked with some of the wrestlers. I got, can you hear me, that stuff over there? I ended up getting some stuff. There's the autographs over there too. Oh shit, that should be over there. Should be over there. I must have left them in the car. But I got some autographs from the Devil's Dormant, and one from just Brandon Webb, and I ended up getting the Devil's Horns. I'll probably wear these Devil's Horns when I go to the Top Rope Promotion show in Fall River, which I am planning on going. Just gonna find someone to go with. And then I talked with the Top Rope Promotions heavyweight champion, Ted Goods, and we talked about the Royal Rumble pay-per-view for a little bit, and what we thought about it, and talked about his title match coming up, and talking about how pretty much he's been in like the face of Top Rope Promotions for a while. So I actually thought that was pretty interesting. And then I got my picture with Jason Daniels, and we talked about his tag team match for a little bit. And
this is the fire picture, guys.
The what? Oh yeah, we took the Snapchat. This is
that's Billy. That's me, and that's I don't know. And this is Billy's Snapchat, guys.
Wait a minute. You just said I was Billy.
Oh,
you realize that, right?
Whatever.
But anyhow, what did you think of the show up until
it was kind of bullshit at the ending.
Well, I'm saying the intermission.
Oh,
up until the intermission part.
It was good.
Yeah. The Top Rope Promotions just take time. The second one, that match was kind of the finish was bullshit with the disqualification finish.
Yeah.
I know it's just I hate when they do those finishes. But would you be willing to go to the one in Fall River if we can make it work?
If we can, maybe, yeah.
So
we just
yeah.
have to get an Uber.
Yeah, something like that. Well, I'll talk to you about. We could see if my grandfather would go because he likes wrestling too. So.
Yeah, but it's pretty hike. If we take an Uber, you don't have to rely on transportation.
True. Yeah.
And he doesn't like driving at night. I thought you said.
He said he would if he has to though.
But I would be safe in an Uber. Though.
Yeah, and I have the app, so.
And you can tell an Uber where to stop and all. Like if you want to stop at a food place, they can come. You can call it back anyways.
True. Yeah.
Then have your grandfather wait on us.
We can talk about him, and let me just finish this review, and then we can talk about it. but definitely the one in East Bridgewater. I believe that's the one the Godfather's going to. Um, so then it came back from intermission, and then we had the Top World Promotions Tag Team Championship match. Top World Promotions Tag Team Champions, the Closers with Marshall McNeil versus the Aristocrats. This match actually was probably match of the night. I think it was the best match on the show. The Closers are really over, mainly Sexy Jesus. And I can't believe they have a wrestler named Sexy Jesus. It's pretty weird. Mainly, the main reason why is because, like, you never really think of, like, Sexy Jesus. And for all the atheists out there that don't believe in Jesus Christ and all the Jewish people, look at Sexy Jesus. Jesus is real, damn it. Jesus is real. But anyhow, this match, I thought, like I said, was match of the night. And the Closers get a huge reaction when they come out. I actually thought they were baby faces at first when they came out because of the reaction they had gotten, because it had been it had been months since I had seen them. So I thought they were baby faces, but that wasn't the case. But I somewhat wonder if eventually they should make that transition for them to turn babyface, since they're getting such a big reaction. So because they can't stay heel because they get such a big reaction and everything. The mat, and they have this bit where they squirt people with let me think. What's
Water, dumbass.
Yeah, but what is the thing they called it? Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, but they squirt people with water, and they had some fans in the crowd had water. There was these kids that kept shooting them with water, which was pretty funny. That was lovely. So the match starts off. The Aristocrats dominate the first half of it, but then the Closers take control. They dominate the next half, and they get the heat on one of the guys, and they just really dominated him. They really take him to school. And then the Aristocrats get the hot tag. They start going off on him. Everybody starts hitting dives on each other on the outside. And then eventually the finish came when Sexy Jesus threw one of the Aristocrats over the guardrail where we were sitting. And one of the funny things was there was a bunch of empty bottles, and luckily he missed them, because if he didn't miss them, the glass would have broken like straight on his back, and that could have just been trouble for him. He could have been walking out of the he could have broken. I'm not saying like he would have broken his back, but he could have gotten some glass in his back and everything. And then eventually the Closers hit their tag team finish and get the victory, and they retain the Top World Promotions tag team championships. And then afterwards, Westgate and Blade come out, and Westgate and Blade get on the mic, and they say that they okay, I'll wait on that. How do I get out of that? Oh my gosh, I can't get out of that. Okay. Okay. Sorry about that. Some weird thing popped up on my computer and I couldn't get out of it. But anyhow, so then afterwards they say that they want the Top World Promotions tag team title match, because the last time they were in the ring, they pinned Marshall McNeil. And I'm getting Snapchatted. So then they say that they want the Top World Promotions tag team title match because they deserve it. They want to have it in Brockton. And then Marshall McNeil gets on the mic and then say that they're not going to have faced them in Brockton, which I thought was good because it was good heel heat, so that was good. And then we had the next match. It was I actually have to look up the name because I don't remember it. I have to search it on my Facebook again. I'm not checking my Snapchat until this review's over.
Guys, Owen does not watch wrestling.
Yeah, never.
Ever.
Ever. Not like I do videos about it or anything, right?
No.
Alright, so then we had the next match. It was Mike Russell versus Jeremy Leary. Jeremy Leary, don't do that. What are you doing? I guess I went viral, right?
Yeah.
How do I get that off there? Come on. Let's see what else we got.
What the?
The holograms. We got. Oh my god! I think that's a kaleidoscope. Billboards.
Woo!
Yeah, a hot air balloon.
Woo!
You look flare now. Less than like an old style camera.
Woo!
Art
Woo!
gallery. One more, okay. The one like almost the end of the show. Thought bubbles. No, I think this is more of a kaleidoscope. The thing that people, the televisions.
This is called dabbing people.
I was like, what do you? This doesn't really look.
New York City.
Yep. Two more. Someone like painting something. This last row.
Yo.
Yeah, as if we were on like a news show. So that would be something interesting.
And this is.
I don't know what this is. TD Garden, I think. Or like as if you're like in like a TD Garden or something. Okay, can I continue?
Sorry, guys.
He doesn't know what dabbing is.
Sorry.
I know what it is. I just don't do it. Well, dabbing's two things. But
Okay, we gotta keep it PG, and it's 12:30. You gotta get over to bed.
All right. Well, can I finish this review?
Focus. 12:20 a.m. Focus, motherfucker. What the fuck is it not focusing? Oh, I just broke my phone, guys.
Oh my gosh. All right. So let me finish this review. So, yeah, Jeremy Leary has the greatest hair in professional wrestling. I actually liked that gimmick. And he gets dominated by Mike Bennett, but eventually he gets the upper hand. But eventually Mike Bennett makes a comeback. He hits an RKO on him, but he gets his foot on the ropes. And then eventually Jeremy Leary hits a front face suplex, and he's about to put him away, but he kicks out. Then Jeremy Leary hits like an RKO stunner type move while he's on his knees, and he messes up his hair and hits a super kick for the win. Good solid match, just kind of a filler match though. Then we had the main event. It was
Scheduled for one fall.
all the matches were scheduled for one fall. It
Scheduled
was
for one fall.
triple threat bout for the Top Rope Promotions Heavyweight Championship. Top Rope Promotions Heavyweight Champion Ted Goods versus Chris Escobar versus Cold Steel Chuck O'Neil. And Cold Steel Chuck O'Neil cut to promo, and I guess he's a heel now, which I think is pretty interesting, saying that everybody wants to see Vinny Marcelli out there, but that nobody's gonna see him because of the fact that he ended up ending his career and drove his head on the mat. So then we had the actual match itself, and Chris Escobar and Chuck O'Neil act like they're gonna work together, but Chris Escobar gets out of the ring, and it just is a one-on-one match for the time being between Goods and Chuck O'Neil, and then Ted Goods hits a dive through the ropes on Escobar, and then he goes off on Chuck O'Neil, but eventually he gets taken out, and then it's just down to a one-on-one matchup between Escobar and O'Neil. And then Ted Goods starts to make his comeback. He hits a bunch of elbows in the corner, and he hits a drop kick in the corner on Escobar, and then he hits a dive-in drop kick on both of them, and then eventually Chris Escobar hits a front face suplex, and Chuck O'Neil gets into a submission move, and then eventually the finish comes when Ted Goods wins with he hits a roll up and he hits his finisher, which I don't remember what it is, for the win, and he retains the Top Rope Promotions Heavyweight Championship. And Ted Goods has been, like I said, the top guy in Top Rope Promotions for quite some time, and he's been the champion for a while. I believe he had dropped it for like a couple of weeks to Frankie Vane or something, but he was I remember for a while he was both the interstate and heavyweight champion, so I think that's pretty interesting. And then afterwards he cuts a promo saying that next month the Godfather's going to be at East Bridgewater show, so he wants to have some fun tonight. So he has like a corner line play, all the fans, including me, myself, and everybody get in the ring and start dancing. It was pretty fun. And then that was the end of the show, and afterwards we ended up getting our picture with Ted Goods, and I thought that was fun. And that was the end of the show. We just went home, and Oh well, I thought going to the show, it wasn't like a great show, but it was definitely a good show. Top Rope Promotions has definitely put on better shows in the past, but this was still a good show, and I enjoyed it. So yeah, I definitely gonna plan on going to the next one, and we got some interesting stuff coming up at Top Rope Promotions. The Godfather's gonna be at the Bridgewater show on April 22nd. We're gonna have the match between the Devil's Reject, Brandon Webb, and Congo at the March 24th show in Fall River. So we got some good stuff coming for Top Rope Promotions. I believe there's other stuff coming as well. Something on like the 30th or something. I forget exactly what it is. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the next Top Rope Promotions event. I hope I can go. So that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe to all my channels like the CM Brothers or the Owen the Talkinator channel. And make sure to subscribe to this channel as well. And that's pretty much it, guys. Talk to you later.